don't know if Sandy did this on purpose or not, but today is the 46th annual celebration of Communications Day in the Catholic Church. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Okay.
Okay, that's divine intervention.
Yeah. So, yeah, in fact, Pope Benedict wrote a letter talking about this day and the role of communications in the church. He wrote it back in January with the intention of it being published today. So later today, I'll send you an email with that link to that. It's about a 2-page letter to read. The point of me sharing that with you is that the church has recognized the role of technology and media in serving the mission entrusted to us by Christ to spread the word for a very long time. And it's no accident that first Communications Day was just a few years after Vatican II. Because one of the messages was about getting the Word of God out to people where they are in their everyday lives. And this was almost 50 years ago. I mean, there was no internet. There weren't personal computers. But even back then, they had the foresight to know that we need to be involved in technology. I don't know if you know it or not, but Pope Benedict tweets. Okay? And our own, I told you a while ago that our own bishop blogs. He has a blog. And one of my favorite blogs to read is from Cardinal Dolan. These are the leaders of our church that are using the technology.
Cardinal Dolan's out of New York City.
Yes. And
quite a character, and they have him on 60 Minutes. I mean, he is a guy that goes to Yankee Stadium and eats hot dogs with relish, literally.
So, and that goes back to what Lyndon was talking about, Bishop Van, is that while these are the leaders of our church, in some ways they're very personable. Like Bishop Van's got this incredible gift of remembering names. If he meets or talks to you for more than one occasion, chances are he's going to remember your name.
Speaking of remembering the name, I have to tell a quick story if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I was serving on the altar for confirmations last year, and Bishop Van, he was washing his hands, and I was holding the towel for him to dry his hands, and he said, "Thank you, Sandy," in the middle of Mass. I was so taken aback, I couldn't hardly remember, oh yeah, I'm supposed to bow now. But it was amazing. You're right. He has a gift for remembering.
He does. So, a few things up front I wanted to say. I don't work in technology for a living. I'm a school teacher, so when it comes to the hardware part of things, I know how to turn things on, and that's about it. I'm not a programmer or anything like that. I know a little bit of HTML code from being a blogger. That's the extent of my involvement in social media, is that I blog and I do some tweeting. All of this is for Joe Catholic, not for me personally. So if you ask me technical questions about technology, I'm not going to be able to answer them. Okay, what I thought my purpose is today, and this is actually the direction the talk will go, is about using technology to enhance our faith. Okay, because if you think about technology, it's amoral. And what I mean by that is that in and of itself, it's not evil or good. It's just an instrument. It's a tool. Okay, can people use it for evil? Absolutely, they can. Okay. But it can also be used for tremendous good. And so that's what the point of this talk is. And the point is not to take it to extremes. You still have to keep the human element. Last year a new smartphone app came out called Confession. And there's this big uproar about whether or not you could just go through confession with that app. No, you can't do that. That app is only meant to help prepare you. It's not any different than some of these little booklets that you can buy at the Catholic bookstore that help prepare you to go to confession. I myself use that application to do an examination of conscience before I go to confession. The other one, I know that people have fallen into this before. Well, I can just watch Mass on TV. That doesn't fulfill your Sunday obligation. Okay, so things like that. The idea is for, again, to enhance your spiritual, not to distract your spiritual life, or any aspect of your life for that matter. Okay? And so with that in mind, I would say that we need to be mindful of setting limits for its use so that it doesn't set limits on us. So like maybe setting aside a set time. And in fact, that's one of the themes of Pope Benedict's message this year, is that the flip side of technology is there's got to be some silence too. Sometimes we got to listen. I know I have a problem with that, and Stacy reminds me. I talk too much and I don't listen enough. And I know that we have a tendency to do that with our relationship with God as well. We're doing all the talking, but we don't stop to listen to what He's got to say to us. And sometimes, as my friend Chuck Gura likes to say, is sometimes God leaves us little breadcrumbs on the floor to follow, like that little whisper. And we need to be tuned into that. So, what I'm going to start off with is I'm actually going to start off with the Joe Catholic website, because I want to show you how I use technology, and this is only as an example. I'm not saying that my example is the only way to do it. I'm just showing you one way that you can use technology. All right, so if y'all don't mind, I'm going to sit down. Everybody can see the screen. All right, and I'm sorry for staying